All right, hey everybody. This is a follow-up video to the one I posted about a week ago, where I talked about the unboxing of this new rally spoiler from BSKT Design, which I was given to test. So I want to follow up with an installation video and then some outstanding thoughts after having had it for about a week or so. So first, let's start off with installation things, and then we'll come back and talk about the review. All right, thanks. So first off, you'll notice we're back in this parking lot a week after having had it on. But I want to talk about some of the steps that weren't on camera so that you guys get an idea of that as we go through the installation in the next segment. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to clean off these supports here that are currently covered. You're going to need to clean that off and before you put on the adhesive primer, or and then you will want to come in, and the very first step with the spoiler itself is attaching the primary wing to the support strut, at least on one side. So you're going to come in and you're going to attach both of these bolts along with their washers so that you have basically 2/3 of the wing already installed when you place it on here. And that's just to make sure that you have all of this aligned when you put it on. So you're really just attaching the other side. So when you see the video, when we cut back to a week ago, that step has already been taken care of. We've cleaned the application area. We've put together the wing and one support strut, and then we start.
So this is actually sped up to 2x speed. Originally this is about a 7-minute job, but here we'll speed it up to 3.5. And as you can see, I'm just adding the adhesive promoter, and that's really going to help bond with the 3M tape that you can see here. I'm removing that protective coating. Just peel that off, and you have tape across the entirety of that piece. And you're going to push this support strut right onto that triangular panel for the existing rear spoiler. And you really want to come in and hold it for about a full minute, pushing evenly, applying as much pressure as possible to make sure there's full contact across that panel. You can see I sometimes come in and I squeeze the corners, push from slightly different angles, just to really make sure that every part of it is getting that contact, not just where my hands are pushing so hard my hair is shaking. In the background, you also see that I have a folded up blanket, and that's to support the cantilevered wing. This is really ideally a 2-person job, but if you don't have somebody, having that blanket there really helps. And as you can see, I'm repeating the process on the other side, adding that adhesive promoter onto that existing corner panel, and I'll be coming back with the second support strut. Just like with the first part, removing that protective layer, and then I'm going to spend about a full minute applying as even consistent pressure as possible to every aspect of this panel, just to make sure everything's making that full contact. And you'll see occasionally I alternate squeezing the corners, pushing from different angles. Just really want to make sure that every part that could be making contact is making contact, because I don't want this to come off. Doing that last check, making sure everything's good there, giving it that one last squeeze. Now this is the last part, and it's a little tricky. I'm going to be coming in and attaching the wing to that second support strut. And what's a little bit tough about this is you got to line everything up and thread these screws without moving the other side too much, because it's already bonded, and I really didn't want to risk popping that other corner off or something. That would have been catastrophic at this level. And I will say, it's a little tough to line up those holes, but once you get one threaded, get it there just enough to hold, and then go do the other one before you tighten them up. That's always a great recommendation when you're tightening things that require multiple screws. You want to get them both in and then start to tighten them together, alternating back and forth. So this actually takes twice the amount of time as bonding these panels, because I really wanted to just kind of go back and forth and make sure there was even pressure here. There was definitely a little bit of flexing. There was one pop that I don't think is really audible in this, but it's just everything kind of adjusting now that there's actually that tension in between the two panels produced by the wing. Everything's tight, remove that blanket. Now I come back in and recheck that first side, since there was a little bit of shifting, but really all the shifting that was happening was just the existing panel as it is, and everything is on, and that's the full install.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about life with this spoiler slash wing, however you want to refer to it, the Rally from BSKT Design, and what that's like. So first off, I'm going to say that uh, the wing itself is fantastic. I love the look of it. I think it looks very similar, or almost like it's an OEM product. I think, with the exception of the little airfoils on the top of the wing itself, everything looks pretty much like it could from the factory. Also, maybe not having the bolts exposed, but other than that, it looks very much like something that you would find on, even just the new Rally model itself. Just a little bit more aggressive, adding a little bit more flair to the car. So let's talk about road noise. My car is a little bit not stock, I guess, just in that fact that I have the window visors, and really that causes the most overall noise you're going to encounter in the vehicle. Um, they are pretty intense. If you've had them before, you know that there's definitely an uptick in what it sounds like. And then I also have these kind of faux BMW M3 style mirror caps. They really don't add much noise. It's really the window visors. You can, if you do have these and you know that there's a pretty significant gap right there when you install them, even if you take them to the factory or to the dealership, adding a little bit of caulking there will significantly reduce wind noise coming through that. It's almost like a whistling sound when there's nothing there. You can get black caulking, you can get clear. I thought I bought clear, ended up with white. That's what we have there. But anyway, that's really the largest noise. Adding the wing itself, I don't hear anything. I don't notice it. It's really non-existent. So if that's a concern of yours, I would say that it's really not something you're going to notice when you have that on there. So have I noticed any kind of decrease in like efficiency or anything like that? Really, no. I'm also not like a min-maxer. I drive the car normally, go out, work from home primarily. So I'm really just going around town. Live in Central Texas, a little bit north of Austin, and really haven't noticed any decrease. Really, it's just an aesthetic piece. It's so light, it really doesn't do much. Outside of that, well, I will say things I've noticed, and you have to forgive me, it's raining a little bit, so the car's not as clean as it could be. Um, but speaking about that, it did rain, and what I have noticed is water will pool up here at the top of the wing. And when you start driving, that water will flow over the wing and hit the window. That's not a big deal at all. It just means that there is significantly more water hitting the window than you're probably used to. So using the rear windshield wiper is actually something that I had to do this morning for the first part of my drive, just because water was actively on there. Usually I just do it once or twice to wipe off water when I've has accumulated when I've been parked, and I really don't notice it after that point, but I actually had it on for a while. So that's one thing. Now, looking at the aesthetics of it, let's start out with things I like. I really, really like how it complements kind of the width of the back three quarters, particularly over the wheel wells, how it kind of, you have that bulge and stuff. And I've always felt that the Mach E kind of looks really weird from behind. We have the black trim on the top to kind of give you the illusion that the car is a little bit lower. And then you also have, of course, the black trim on the bottom that does the same thing. But there are definitely angles when you see the Mach E where that illusion goes away. And I think when I see other Mach E's in my area driving by, I always like, oh man, the secret's revealed. I can see how tall the car actually is. And it's like, oh man, do I look like that? It's like having one of those shock moments. And what this does for me is really break that up and kind of give you a little bit more of a complimentary look to the vehicle. And what I mean by that is when you come and look at it at certain angles, it kind of gives you if you look at the left-hand side, almost like an hourglass shape where it's kind of complementing the vehicle, where, you have the bulge over the wheel wells, and then it kind of also continues that and complements that going upwards. and it really does a lot for me. The second thing, because there are some other wings that attach up to the top like this, is that it doesn't increase the height whatsoever of the vehicle, and I think that's really important. I definitely did not want this to be any taller than it already is. And this really doesn't really raise it much, but a couple inches, depending on where you're looking. And I really appreciate that. Also having it kind of extend out further and kind of take that rear wing that was already there and bring it back, you know, another 8 inches, 10 inches. It really just improves a lot. It ends up looking a lot sleeker to me, and in some ways it feels like it's very low slung. But back up a little bit, you can kind of see it just kind of adds to things. It feels a lot more sporty with that on there. um so yeah, that's the stuff I really like about it. Things that I don't like, it's not really a lot. They're very minor. I would say that for my own aesthetic, my own taste, I would probably prefer if the bolts were hidden, if they were to mount on the inside, almost like a pocket hole screw down there. I think that would like kind of make it flush, and then it would really look like an OEM product to me. I know that there are definitely people who appreciate kind of that industrial look of having the exposed bolts, but for my taste, I wish that there was like maybe caps or something that kind of obfuscated that a little bit, so that it just kind of looked like the car came like that. And that's really kind of what I'm going for personally with the vehicle, is looking for things that just kind of look like this is how I got the car off the lot. Um, in general, the black matches the existing piano black really well, really easily. But I would say that there are some angles where maybe it looks like it doesn't. You might notice that here, and that's really just the angles of what's reflecting on it. And then of course you have some differences in just material. You know, this is like a fiberglass part that's been sprayed to have that piano black finish versus, you know, metal or other harder plastics that have been sprayed as well. So you will notice a little bit of just slight difference in deviation, especially, you know, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but around the bolting pattern, there's a little bit of waviness in the reflection. But really, from a distance, that's not something you're really going to notice, and it's not something that I really think about. I'm just pointing it out if you wanted to ask that question or think about that in any way. So yeah, there's not really anything negative. It just comes down to your taste and what you want in your vehicle. After having it for a week, everything is tight, nothing really moves. The only give that I've noticed is really the give that was already existing on these panels. So if you go out to your car and you take your fingers and you wiggle it a little bit, that's about the wiggle you're going to notice, and that's really just the way that those parts are. I would almost say it adds a little bit more rigidity to those two panels because they're now linked, but otherwise this is rock solid. I haven't noticed any problems. It's exactly like it was the day I put it on. So if this is something that you're interested in, I would definitely check it out. I was actually looking at it myself before the offer came up to test it. So that was kind of a little bit of serendipity, I guess. But yeah, there comes in multiple different versions. This is the piano black version, or the gloss black, but there are matte versions. There are carbon fiber, there's forged carbon fiber, and if you go on the site you can even see that they have some forged carbon fiber with flecks of different colors in there if you're trying to coordinate with your vehicle. And really at this price point, it's a really awesome piece. So yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts. It's really awesome. I've enjoyed it. It's, for me, it's the perfect complement to the car. It's exactly what I was looking for in terms of just having something else to add to the back end to kind of solve those issues for myself. And I've gotten a lot of compliments even from people who don't really know about cars. They've just noticed that something's a little bit different, and that's exactly what I was going for, just something tasteful that added a little bit more. So if you're interested in it, definitely check it out.